Hi and welcome to the channel. Today we're going to continue the conversation of the top 10 things that nobody talks about, except this time we're going to be bringing in your comments and we're going to have some fun. So you know what? Let's get started. We are super excited to continue the topic of top 10 things nobody talks about, because honestly, we could probably do about 20 of these videos. The best part of doing this video series is the fact that for all the RV newbies out there, you guys are getting firsthand knowledge of the things that nobody talks about. And that's the fun part. And today we're going to be bringing in all the comments from you that contributed to our last video. So if you haven't seen the video, check it out. We'll put the link above and you can see the top 10 part 1 things that nobody talks about. So now I guess we'll just start off with number 1.
The talking neighbor.
The talking neighbor.
You know who you are.
That would be me. Yep, if you see us in the park, you're definitely going to be talking to me. I'm going to be out there. What type of rig do you have? How was your journey? How long did it take? And you know what? Big Bad Bob 143 agrees with you. Yes. He actually says, how about the talking neighbor? Just when you start setting up, someone wants to spend 30 minutes in a conversation. You know what's funny? I do that to you. Yes. If you see us in a park, there's 100% chance I'm going to be gabbing with you. The gift of gab runs completely through this guy right here.
Yes. However, on the other hand, we run into that all the time too.
Yeah.
We've been on the road for 7 hours. The kids have been cooped up in the car. You get there, you're like, let's do this. Let's set up. Let's have a nice dinner. Where's Lee? Oh, it's been only like 30, 45 minutes. Honey, what about the power?
No.
Water.
And you know what's funny is I always hear that every park we go to. She's always agitated. Preoccupied with her emotions. Because I went to go put up the power and then veered to the right and started talking to somebody, and she's on an agenda. Yes. Ready to go. Yes. So you know what? The talkative neighbor is absolutely a huge part of the RV community. Why? Because RVers have nothing better to do than to talk to their neighbors. This is what we do.
That's what we love about RVing.
Everywhere you go, you're gonna find friendly people.
Yes.
So number 2 on our list is the realities of boondocking. And actually, Mobile Empire commented and said, people never talk about how solar panels quit working when the weather isn't nice.
Yeah, we had no idea.
Yeah. They also never talk about how they're going to charge the huge battery banks when it's drained.
That's a good point.
That's a huge point.
Yeah, never heard anybody talk about that before, so.
You know what? You have these images of going boondocking. It's just you, Mother Nature, and one heck of a great time. But then the reality sets in once the solar panels aren't working and your battery banks drain.
You know, Mother Nature has her own moods, so, you know, it's raining, overcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, what do you do? So
you know what? If you guys have tips for that, put it in the comments below. Let everyone know what some solutions are.
Yeah.
That's a great point. All right, number 3 on our list is poor reception. And that plagues everybody.
Yes. Who doesn't have experience with poor reception? I mean, it doesn't matter what you're talking about. If it's satellite, if it's cell phone, if it's Starlink. I mean, there's always going to be a spot that doesn't have either of them. You
know what? We have spent many a day on the back of the rig trying to find the perfect direction for any kind of signal to boost our Wi-Fi and our cell booster.
So Lee is out there turning the Weeboos. I'm inside trying to see with the cell phone and the app. Do we have any reception? You can see the cell phone tower.
Oh yeah, you can see it's right there.
Nothing is coming through.
So pointing to it doesn't really work. You got to point to the other one. So Scotty actually brings a comment that says, folks cranking up the RV antenna and moving its direction 1,000,000 times before they give up and realize they're not going to get any TV channels to come in. That's a huge tip, and that's a reality for everyone that's out there. Sometimes it's just not going to work right the first time, and and what in your mind you might think takes a couple of minutes takes you the entire afternoon, and then you just get frustrated and you go and do something else. And that's part of RVing. And
the good thing is, RVing, you know, if it's beautiful, you can just go outside. If it's raining, you know, a tip is have a DVD player if you can't get reception for your TV. Have a backup plan, or a bunch of board games. So, I mean, there's always something you can do.
We have about 200 DVDs just for the time when that happens right there.
Exactly.
You're like, I'm not dealing with this. It is exhausting. We're watching a DVD. But Dad, we've seen that 30 times. I know, and we're going to watch it again.
We'll just watch it in a different language.
Exactly.
Oh, number 4 on our list. This is dear to my heart. We do have children, so picnic table etiquette.
Picnic table etiquette.
Sometimes, or most times, you do not want to know what people did to your picnic table before you got there.
You know what, guys? Sometimes ignorance is bliss.
Yes.
Just not knowing is so much more peaceful than knowing what happened to that picnic table before you pulled in.
Exactly.
And you know what? Bert Bennett commented, you missed, what are those folks doing on that picnic table?
Yeah.
Enough said.
Yeah. Best tip, use covers. Always use picnic table covers.
Yeah. You know what? They cost $1 or $2, and when you just, I'd say the full reality, it's better to cover it than not. Guys, we're just being truthful and honest.
Yeah.
We have seen many, many, many campgrounds, and we have seen many, many things that make you go, Yeah. Yeah, let's just say it's not camera worthy, or we'd show it to you. And you know what? You probably have your own experiences and you know exactly what we're talking about. So you know what? We just call it etiquette. We try to do the best we can. The picnic tables are for general use. We just want to make sure that we're good stewards of the campground and keep it sanitary.
Yes.
Because it's not always the case.
No.
All right, so the next one on our list is truck to trailer mismatch.
And we're not talking about color here.
No, we're not talking about color. Guys, it is universal when you go out, whether you're driving the interstates of America, whether you're sitting there having a great cup of coffee in the morning and you see some people pull in, you're going to drop your jaw and say, I cannot believe that I'm seeing that right there. That Suburban should not be carrying that fifth wheel. And that's a real thing. You can go across social media and find these jewels out there where someone modified their F-150 with a fifth wheel hitch and they're towing a 40-foot trailer.
Yeah.
These things exist. We're not making it up. And I would say of all the 3 years that we've been traveling, we have seen countless times where you just say, either I'm gonna let them pass or we're gonna pass them, because whatever's about to happen,
we don't want to be part of it.
We don't want to be a part of it. And you know what? Our hearts go out to everyone watching this, because that's a safety thing. We have children, we travel America full time, and it is always conscious on our minds to make sure that we don't injure other people as we travel.
Exactly.
And we want to make sure that everyone understands it's a universal thing. Sometimes, eye of the beholder. Yeah. Maybe the people traveling think that what they're doing is perfectly safe. Yeah. Whereas everyone else,
it's like, whoop,
doesn't.
I don't know about that one.
So you know what? Absolutely. FD Mayer commented, pulling a fifth wheel with an F-150, that's just nuts. No matter what anyone says. Trucks have limits. Knowing the truck's limits equals the type of trailer that you can carry with it and the type of load. So make sure you get with the manufacturer's statistics, make sure you know exactly what your truck is rated for, and then you can make the decision on what it should or should not be doing.
I remember one time I had a Ford Explorer. I don't know if you remember from the first season, if you've watched it, and I tried to get a U-Haul trailer with it, and they wouldn't even lend it to me, and I thought I was perfectly fine pulling a trailer with this big SUV, but I guess it wasn't so big after all.
Transmissions, guys, they break.
Yeah, yes.
They're not meant for that.
No.
So you know what? be smart, know exactly what your truck's limits are, and make a conscious decision that is safety first. That's the tip.
All right, number 6 on our list is missing jack pads.
Oh yes.
Who would even think about that?
You know what? I'll tell you what. Monica is thinking about that.
Yeah.
Missing jack pads. How about checking your landing pads aren't screwing off?
Yeah.
We lost one on the road. So when checking tires, check to make sure your landing pads are screwed on tight.
Yeah, that would be kind of hard to use the stabilizers and the front jacks if there's no pad.
That's a great point, Monica. And you know what? We're guilty of not checking that.
Yeah.
You just get so in tuned on your checklist that you just focus on the checklist and you're not actually focusing on the peripheral and all the other variables that you can be adding to the checklist. So that's an important tip, is add that to your checklist.
And you don't know what you don't know.
You don't know
I mean,
what you
how
don't
do
know.
you know that they're screwed on, that they can move? So
if you look underneath, there's a nice little nut holding those on.
Yeah.
So make sure you have some kind of socket to check that every now and then.
Yeah.
You don't want to lose one, especially when you're driving 60 miles an hour on the interstate.
Yeah.
That's a bad day for somebody.
Yes.
And especially when you get to the campground where you're going.
And you can't set
and
up.
You don't have it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Number 7 on our list is protecting your valuables.
Oh yes.
That is a great topic, and we actually have a video about that where we were looking for a fireproof safe, because when you're living full time in your rig, you have all your important documents with you, and there's nothing worse than something happening to your rig. You know, you have an accident, it catches fire, who knows what, and you lose all your important documents.
You know what, guys, that's a real thing. In the video, our focus was actually fireproof, crash proof, but it wasn't theft proof.
That's true.
And that's where Ken comes in and commented, those Sentry fireproof safes, the same one that we got.
Yeah.
I discovered a fireproof zipper bag app, 4 by 10 inches at Walmart.
Wow.
Hiding places now are endless, and we can leave our rig in peace knowing that our valuables are safe.
Yep.
So you know what? We only focused on the fire aspect. We didn't focus on the theft aspect.
True.
And I don't know if you guys have experience with any of that.
Yeah.
For us, it's a precaution.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we just wanted to have something in case God forbid, we actually get into an accident on the road, that at least the passports and the important valuables would be in one location and it would be fire safe.
Yeah.
We didn't think about any of the other aspects, and that's the great tip. You know what? Take the advice from the people that know, and if you guys have any experience, please put it in the comments below.
Yep.
So number 8 on our list is something that we're actually going to bring to you, and that is things break when you travel. Every time.
Oh yes. And it doesn't matter. You might have had the best honey-do list, and you might have gotten it all done. The moment you get done, there's going to be 10 more things popping up.
Just remember this. If you move it or if you park it,
it will break.
Your rig will break.
Yes.
when you're passing your rig, just don't look at it. Just walk by and just ignore it, because if you look at it real stern, it'll break.
Yeah.
It's a true thing.
Yes.
You know what? And that's funny because we actually travel all the time. And whether we're traveling the streets of Memphis, upstate New York, throughout Montana during the road construction season, which apparently that's the entire north of the United States.
Yes.
Anywhere we travel, we'll get to our RV site and our fridge will be half hanging out. Everything in the cabinets will have been thrown out onto the ground. There's always something that happens.
Yeah.
You might just not know about it.
Exactly.
It might be somewhere else where you open a cabinet and go, oh my.
Oh,
where did that come
happened
from?
Here? I thought I secured it before, but I guess not.
And you know what? You'll always meet the talking neighbors that'll tell you the story that their microwave shot out through their window and is on I-10 somewhere in New Mexico.
Exactly.
So,
oh my gosh. I love these conversations. You learn so much.
So you know what? It's a real thing. Most of the time when you travel, the interstate bridges are the culprit most of the time.
Oh yeah.
As soon as you hit an interstate bridge, your rig just starts porpoising and going back and forth, and everything in it, it gets a little shimmy.
Yes, it does.
And a shake.
Number 9 on our list is campfires cost money.
Oh yes.
Nobody ever talks about that. We don't have land, so we don't have free trees. So we got to go to the grocery store or Home Depot or the camp store. And a lot of times you do have to go to the camp store because they won't let you bring outside wood in. So the bundles sometimes, there are 4 to 5 pieces of wood and they cost from $8 to $15. You know, by the time you build your fire, you spend 40 bucks just to make one fire.
I'm gonna need about 10 of those logs.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we're going all night.
Yeah.
And you know what? A lot of people ask us, they say, well, you guys are full-time RVers, so you guys must be doing campfires 7 days a week and s'mores and marshmallow roasting and all that. And we look at each other and we're like, if we won the lottery, there will be signs.
You're hilarious.
No, we don't.
One of our tips is have a propane fire pit, you know, as a backup, just to save some bucks on if the wood is really expensive. You know, you can have a propane fire. That's something, you know. And a lot of times out west, they won't even allow you to have a wood fire. Yeah. So it's always nice to have a backup. Definitely.
You know what? We love smelling like a campfire.
Yeah. So
we have both a propane fire and we look forward to the times that we can do a wood fire, but it's not 7 days a week.
Yeah.
So we finally made it to number 10 on our list, and this is actually dear to my heart, and that is big truck parking. I cannot tell you how many times we have crossed America in search of dually parking, especially for us. It's actually comical sometimes. You go to a place and you're like, yeah, we're not gonna fit. Yeah. That's not gonna happen.
And the more history, the older it is, the harder it is to park.
You know what? You go to Savannah and you're like, we're gonna have a great time downtown, and you make a U-turn and go back home because you just can't find any parking. No. You know what? And this, the infamous, we know not to go into the front of any parking lot. We're always in the back, like the very last spot, and we take up like 2, maybe 3.
We're always in timeout.
Yeah, we have a big footprint.
Yes.
And you know what? We want to give a big shout out to Rob Hollywood down in Florida, who sent us this pic of the way he parks his big truck. Yeah. And you know what? I got to tell you right now, Rob, you are now the reigning champ of big rig truck parking. Yes. That is fantastic. Thanks for the picture. You know what? We had a great time, and if there's any more things that nobody talks about, put them in the comments below and we'll make another video.
Yeah, thank you so much for your contributions. It was so much fun for us.
Oh yeah.
And you know, that's why we love the RV community. We all help each other out, and it was so much fun to share.
Yep. We'll see you guys next time.
Is there something in my tooth?
Nope. No? You look perfect.
Okay.
I've got a bug.
I've never seen a bug like this before.
Someone wants some screen time.
I'm like, wait a minute, should I tell him or not?
Like, I'm gonna wait till he's done. It's only crawling up the side. You're like, what's that tickling? And she's like,
what is that? You got the camera on? It's gone.
Anymore? Okay, we're good.
It flew up.
I almost died there. You know, I'm not thinking this is a great location.
You know, it is kind of windy.
It's pretty windy, and
we're being blown away. Yeah, that light is.
We're gonna find somewhere else.
Yeah. What is it?
I have no idea.
Don't
it looks like a.
Anybody know what that is? It's pretty. You launched it in the air. Now it feels like one of those rockets.
You know, this goes back to our first video where we talked about bugs.
Yes, exactly. Nobody talks about bugs.
Nobody talks about bugs.
We have proof.
We're in the woods.
All right, I'm done.